This video will explain the course's plagiarism policy. Basically, don't plagiarize. It's very important to not plagiarize. Plagiarism is defined as presenting work in your paper that is not your own as if it is your own. Plagiarism can be committed by not properly quoting or providing citations to quotes. It can be it can happen because you don't have enough of your own words in a paper. Like if a paper is 75% quotes, even if you cite them all properly, that would still be considered plagiarism in an unacceptable paper. Now, we're not going to have a zero tolerance policy in this course regarding plagiarism. Essentially, there's going to be a lot regarding whether or not you have to make up an assignment, or you get deducted points for an assignment if you plagiarize based upon my discretion. You know, what it looks like you did or didn't do. This is a 100 level course. I don't expect everybody to be perfect on not plagiarizing and citing things properly every single time. Essentially, if you don't cite properly, you've plagiarized. Don't expect everybody to cite properly every single time or to know how to do that. I'll try my best to point it out every single time, but that's not necessarily going to count as plagiarism if you miss one citation. Essentially, here's how the plagiarism policy will work. Depending upon how severe your first offense is and on what kind of assignment it is, it'll be a warning. If it's really severe, even if it's your first offense though, we'll move on to the penalty section of the plagiarism policy, which is if you plagiarize a paper, if I consider the plagiarism that you did on a paper to be sufficient enough to warrant this penalty, it will be you'll get a 0 for the assignment. However, you will have the opportunity to turn the paper into me again and get up to 75% credit on the paper, or depending how you look at it, you'll get a 25% reduction in your final grade on the paper. Glass half empty or half full, depending on what you want. When you commit plagiarism or have a paper that I considered to be plagiarized enough to warrant this penalty, you will have up until 72 hours from when I send you an email or notify you that you've committed plagiarism to turn back in the paper with no additional penalty other than the 25% off your grade or up to 75% credit. What this means is that if I email you Monday at 2 p.m. to tell you that, hey, you're committed a lot of plagiarism in this paper, you're going to be subject to the penalty, you got a 0 on this until you turn it back into me with the proper corrections made, you'll have 72 hours from that moment that I send the email. Not from the moment you receive it or the moment you look at it, from the moment I send it. So if I send it to you at Monday at 2 p.m., you have until 2 p.m. on Thursday to turn the paper back into me with the plagiarism corrected to receive that credit. If you don't, you can still turn it into me. However, it'll be subject to any late penalty that is listed in the assignment, in addition to the 25% off plagiarism penalty. So that's that. To get more information about how to avoid plagiarism, you can go take your papers to the GTCC Writing Center, email Ask Me, turn in an assignment before it's due and say, hey, is there plagiarism in this paper? You can also refer to the citation guide to make sure you cite things correctly to avoid the plagiarism. Both the citation guide I provide and the citation example paper that I give you. And you can watch the video on what to look out for in terms of citations that I'll also do. Hope that helps. And that's plagiarism.